Hey there, it's Jason, and hang out for a quick few moments as we begin to let everybody into this event here. We've got quite a number of folks who are going to be coming into this, so a little bit of technology as we begin here. Hey, it's Jason, and I've got you all on the screen right now. Today is a bit of a special workshop that I've been wanting to do for quite some time to really begin to break down one of the larger principles that often stands in the way of people successfully creating consistent high-value sales in the shape of their business. You might have saw that we had a fancy graphic when we first came on here, which is the Whisper method, attract high-paying clients in a noisy 2024 market. Those of you who were here with me live in the chat down below, let me know who you are. Let me know where you're watching from. That's the excitement of having such a big crowd around the world here. We're also now simulcasting to a number of different places. So if I don't see your comment right now, you'll see me respond to you slightly later after the fact as well. Let me pop up a quick message over to the team and we will officially dive on in there. There we go. It's working. Hot damn. There are 6 of you right now inside of a Facebook group, and there's many more in all the other locations. My name is Jason Linett. The background behind this is that I originally opened up my consulting company back in about 2006, 2007. And I was working with clients one-to-one. And at the time, it was kind of a new thing to take your business online. And I started to do it before even doing it online was really a thing there. The challenge, though, became the fact that as I was then producing content around the world, I was doing podcasts, I was speaking at different events, eventually there came a rather high-quality problem that popped up there. It was that there were too many people who were reaching out. There were too many people who were inquiring. And the first step of this journey was one of kind of marketing in a way that most of us are relatively familiar with, which is kind of the opposite of our theme today. Can I get this on the screen? Yes, there we go. Whisper method. Instead, back then it was, well, not exactly shouting, but it was definitely a lot of, hey, check out what we're doing. Hey, sign up for this thing. And we kind of find ourselves at a point in time where now the methods that were working back then to consistently bring people in, I rolled that business out. I launched it the first year full time at it. Was a 6-figure year. It continuously scaled from there and eventually bringing the business up to the 7-figure level. Excuse me. I hate when people do that during these events. But no, letting it scale over time. And really the overriding principle was, as the narrative online began to expand, as more people took their businesses online, we kind of ran into this situation where now, well, we got to cut through all the noise. We've got to break through all the mess that's out there. And so while everybody else is trying to sell you, do this right now, do this right now, you need this, you need that. Instead, it's that ability to now, simply put, let the audience run the sales narrative for you. When we find ourselves in a place where now we are bombarded with sales messages, one after the other, and we're a culture now that we've trained ourselves to basically ignore it. I mean, those of you who are here with me live, let me know. Do you pay to not have the commercial show on your streaming TV apps? You can have this level of the membership, or if you pay this much, then you're not going to see the ads. And now we've trained ourselves. I watched my daughter at 13 years old hop onto YouTube, play a video, kick the volume all the way down, wait for the ad to pass. At about 3 seconds left of the ad, she turns the volume back up, then she actually listens. This is what we're up against now. And especially where now people are publishing at a rate where it would seem as if everything is stacked up against you. Well, the solution is, on the front end, you need to start to communicate in such a way where now your ideal clients are actually driving the sales narrative for you in the privacy of your own thoughts. By doing so now, before they ever reach the place of, hey, we have this upcoming event, hey, sign up for this thing, having your ideal clients mentally rehearsing the sales process in advance so that by the time that specific sales offer hits, they've been mentally rehearsing it, they are ready for it, you have already cut through the noise. Did I just cover the entire topic in the first 4 minutes? I think so, but we're going to dive into more detail here. Today is the Whisper method, attract high-paying clients in a noisy 2024 market. I can see we've got Grant with us live. We've got Colleen with us live. Those of you here with me in real time, just give a quick hello in the chat down below. Let us know who you are. Let us know where you're watching from. I can see we're currently in 18 different countries. Woohoo! World traveler. I'm in my home right now. So let's officially dive on in. I'm going to do things in a slightly different order though, which is that traditionally if I have an invite that I'm going to extend to all of you here, I usually wait until the end. However, we have an event coming up in about, at this point, 12, 13 days or so, and buckle up for the price of this. It's free. Hey, we've got Christine from Maryland, we've got Ellie from Arizona, and hey, we've got everybody getting an invite right now to our upcoming Scale with a Course challenge. It's going to be a 5-day interactive event the last week of August. If you can be there live, that is flippin' awesome. Sorry for the language I had to use there. But if you can be there live, that's awesome. If you can't be there live, still go to scalewithacourse.com. It's a 5-day interactive live event. We're doing it inside of a pop-up community. So if you can't be there during the real-time event, you're going to have temporary access over to the replays. And I'm going to throw this up here a couple of times here today to make sure you know exactly where to go. Those of you who get offended when people try to sell something, save your offense for something else. It's free. So Whisper method. I'll walk you through the basic idea of this first. The basic idea is that first of all, we don't want to be that person who is shouting the offer from the top of the mountain. We don't want to be that person who is just screaming, buy this thing, buy this thing, buy this thing. We've established we ignore that now. So instead, the solution is we want to create that opportunity where somewhere inside of the content of your business, there's just this little bit of a seed that's planted. There's just this little bit of a sprout that's there that begins to cultivate itself and grow. So again, when I'm talking about the nature of what we do here, it's a company called Attract Pre-Sold Clients. It's about how do we plant those right ethically psychological principles so that now the audience is mentally rehearsing that sales journey for us. So I've got some steps to this here as we dive on in. I think I've got the graphics here, crossing the fingers because we're live, and that was the wrong button. But there we go. Let's dive in. There it is. Why traditional loud marketing is driving clients away. Well, again, we've hit that already. The fact is we are being bombarded with messaging all the time. We're being hit by different ads, hit by different things. Sign up for this, pay for that. So as we're talking about this, the traditional loud marketing is really what's driving people away. But let's approach this now from a different angle, which is now to talk about how you can fix it so that you don't sound like everybody else and begin to, as we say, attract those pre-sold clients consistently. The solution to this is, and this is going to scare some of you, it's that willingness to put out content on the front end of your business. And let me just address that real quick. When I'm talking about business, when I'm talking about growth, the reality is in the 21st century, you are a content creator first. You're a content creator first that happens to provide a product or a service. When you start to think in that way, that right there is part of the solution to actually be found by people. And when I say content, let's address this in a very simple way. What is content in terms of marketing? Anything you would publish. So let's simplify this. It's going to be the same psychological principles, whether it's an email, whether it's a text message, whether it's a live stream, a webinar such as this, whether it's going to be something in the nature of, let's say, a short form video on one of these short form video platforms, if it's a blog post, if it's an article, if it's what you're talking about when you're the guest on a podcast, if it's what you talk about if you happen to host a podcast. No, I'm not telling you you have to do all these things all at once, because even I'm not. Instead, it's the whole understanding that now content is content, and everybody dives into this game of thinking that, oh, here's this platform, I have to do this here. Oh, no, here's this platform, we have to do that over there. Kind of. Maybe like 5-10% of care in terms of how you finesse that message. But the reality is the overriding psychological principles are the same. No matter what the platform is, no matter what the delivery mechanism is, no matter if you're going out on video, if you're just typing out words, even if you're running a company that it makes sense to never even show your face. Though I can't see you right now, but if you lost weight, you're looking fantastic here. So the solution is to really bring that narrative where now the willingness to put out content, and here's the scary part for some of you, might not necessarily ask for someone to buy something. Oh, I know. Might not even necessarily tell them, go here to do this thing. And one of you just popped a thing over in the chat. Watch this in real time. There's a little technical thing that some browsers run into. We solved this the other day, but look at this sorcery. Boom! Just do that. Someone was mentioning, they're trying to sign up. It's giving me a weird message. Let's just fix this one here in real time too. Check out. Yay. Look at that. Boom. That solves that issue. It's something specific just to a few browsers. We resolved it, but it's a cookie issue. That will solve your issue right there, Albertina. Yay. There we go. So that willingness to put out a message at times that may not necessarily say, and if you want help with that, go to this specific place and give me money. How much? All of it. No. Instead, it's that willingness to actually think in terms of a little bit more sequential. How can we begin to plant the seeds in the right places at the right time so that now, I would say usually now when they actually see that sales invite, they've been mentally rehearsing it and they're ready for it, though the reality is it's 2024 and people are smart. They're going to hear you talking about something. They're going to hear you lecturing on something. They're going to see you posting about something, and they're going to begin to connect the dots for you. I bet this person has some sort of solution in terms of solving this issue. Better phrase. I bet they have something they could sell me. I might look around for it. So right there, step one, traditional loud marketing is driving it away. How do we start to cut through that noise? It's that willingness to actually at times produce content that may not necessarily say, go here right now, go to this thing right now. If that spikes a little bit of anxiety for some of you here with me live, just drop the word yes down in the chat below. Just kind of curious to hear what the thoughts are on that one there. That again, we often get to that place, I'm like, I have to tell them about it. What if they don't know about it? People are smart. They're going to figure it. Yes, yes. Yes, this software used to let us throw the comments up on the screen. I miss that. But let's move forward here because how to craft your unique whisper that resonates deeply. I've got, of all things, a story about this that actually popped up as early as last night. One of the people that we're working with inside of our consulting, he was actually going live on a streaming platform yesterday. And as he was there, I just heard him seamlessly drop the little formula inside of what he was doing, and immediately you could see that it was actually getting a result. And those of you that are really listening carefully might have realized I just used the technique as I was talking about the technique. I know, right? It's a formula inside of a formula, inside of Inception, inside of the Matrix, inside of, what was the thing called in Ready Player One? That thing. Yeah. So in the midst of telling a story, now let me clarify something in advance here. Part of the whisper method is crafting that unique whisper that resonates deeply. There's a rule to this. Don't lie. I also do work inside of therapeutic audiences and methods for change, and we're always a fan of evidence-based strategies. And research has proven this next statement to be true. If you lie, your pants will be on fire. So, don't. It's really what that comes around to. So, a little while ago I said, perfect example of this is one of our clients who's currently working with us inside of our consulting made use of this strategy just last night, and I saw that there was an immediate response in his audience. Let's rewind back. Because what was part of that story? If you're a grammar nerd, it's inside of the nature of, am I using the right term for this? A prepositional phrase? One of our students who is going through our consulting right now put this method to use just last night, and I could see that he got the result right away. Dominic gets the joke. Thank you. We're doing this event just for you right now, just this part right here. So it's just that little bit of an aside. Now, here's the catch. Notice that it says how to craft your unique whisper that resonates deeply. Where's my graphic for the big part here? Whisper, yeah. So the thing about a whisper is subtle. It's not this. And oh man, I'm just holding back from wanting to say the name of the person who I saw do this, and just it sucked. So I'm going to pick something else off my table here. I randomly have a pack of playing cards. Yay. And this is not the whisper method. Looking for a few details. Okay, this is not the whisper method. Well, I was playing cards with my kids the other day, and I made sure that I was playing with Bicycle brand playing cards that are made by the United States Playing Card Company in Kentucky. Really? Cool. And what's great about these cards is that they have an air cushion finish, which is important because they're made in the USA. And it just screamed commercial in that moment. This right here, lean in for this moment here. It's okay if I kind of nerd out on a quick marketing thing. It's the fact that if you want to consistently bring in high quality clients to your business, what you need is what I call belief shifting persuasion. That's communicating in a way where now your messaging is strategically designed to knock down one, if not all 6 of the core beliefs that often stand in the way of someone actually making a purchase. That's kind of a whisper method. Here's the opposite. If you really want to consistently bring in high quality clients, you need to sign up for our consulting program, which is this much money. Go to this specific page. Here's all the steps. You see the difference here? Whisper method basically just gives them that little bit of a sliver. One of our students who's currently working with us in our consulting program made use of this strategy last night. What did you just learn right away? Jason and his team have a consulting program. What was not the whisper method? Hey, we're putting on a free event in about 12 days. It is the Scale with a Course Challenge. Go over to www.scalewithacourse.com. It's a free event. Grab your space right there. Okay, let me see if I can turn this one into whisper. One of the biggest challenges that people run into when they're trying to produce an online course and grow their business is the fact that they're thinking in terms of just simply, what do I know that I can teach? Let me put it out there. Well, one of the principles that we're going to be talking about in the upcoming Scale with a Course Challenge is to think instead of not fully what I would call a hybrid style course, where you now have the ability to work with people at a premium level while they're also navigating through a course. It's more specifically about creating multiple pathways, a bit of a spider web within your business. So that now the people who maybe are not yet at the place where they can afford your full premium high-ticket services, they may be perfectly fine to stay within your self-guided digital offerings. Or the people who are now looking for more of a faster, quicker, more in-depth solution can then elevate out of the course purchase and now work with you one-to-one at that higher level. It's basically teaching a system where people sell themselves into the appropriate level, and you're also negating the idea that most people run into with course creation, which is, oh, you can't afford this, you should buy this instead. So I just completely talked about one of the things I'm going to be teaching. I think that's actually day 2 of the event. But I dropped in there, hey, we have this upcoming Scale with a Course Challenge. True story. I had a massive spike of anxiety about 2 weeks ago because we created the graphics, we created the web page, we named the event, I started to write emails, and then all of a sudden I'm like, oh, you don't have to do this. This is a Jason thing. I didn't check to see that I could actually buy the website. But it was available $7 later. www.scalewithacourse.com. So you see, that's part of that difference there. How to craft it. Think about, what's the thing I can teach? What is the value that I can provide to my audience? And then, as I talk about the value that I can provide, let me, as part of the preamble, let me, as part of the introduction, reference the other opportunity. To which we don't then have to go, and if you want that, go here, go here, go here. That is the opposite of whispering. came from a theater background. I wasn't an actor. I wasn't the director. I wasn't the designer. I was the stage manager sitting at a folding table, watching the actors put together the play and also figuring out how to take all those creative people and help them to actually get along. Yeah, you can see why I burned out of that career, and now this. So then step 3, the 3-step process to implement the Whisper method. Well, there's actually 2 pathways into this. One is the one that I just talked about, which would be that what is the value I can provide? What is the issue I can call out? What is the gap that my audience is running into? What is basically the hook, the value, the thing I can provide to my audience? And then from there, let me now shoot a metaphorical arrow through, specifically through the reference of my thing. Hey, we wrapped up a training event. Here, let me set this up properly. We're not promoting this because we don't have one scheduled yet. So easy example would be that one of the things that I found to be critical for the brand new coach, the brand new counselor and therapist is the fact of what good are all these methods for change unless you actually have people there in front of you to work with. So we just wrapped up one of our certification programs, which includes a ton of hands-on practice. And we always dedicate the last week of that event specifically on how to get your first or even your next 25 to 50 clients. And one of the biggest takeaways that we covered last night was make use of the audiences you've already got. There's people out there that you already, I'll pause there. See, just that little bit of a reference in there. I can then begin to teach. I can then begin to provide value. But then from there, I can now use this as an opportunity to then just reference the thing. If it's social media, they're going to go find your profiles. If it's any other media, they're going to Google you and they're going to find the thing or earn the right to be blatant. It's free. Just go there, sign up for the thing. So the 3-step method to implement this Whisper method is basically to look at what are the current objections, what are the current concerns, what are the blocks. Let me just put this all under a bigger header. What are the reasons why people usually don't buy from you? What are their yeah, but reasons? And I'm going to say this positively to everybody here. When you hear the phrase of, this sounds great, it's just not the right time for me. When you hear the phrase, I can't afford that. When you hear the phrase, I'll think about it. These may be true. But from this point forward, I want you to lock it into your mind that this phrase, those phrases always basically mean, I don't believe you. And now we could take it personally. We can get offended and go, oh, yeah, they're not taking it seriously. All these people are reaching out to me and they're just not serious about it enough to actually then want to spend the time, the energy, and the money to do it right. And if you're pointing the fingers and blaming, you're better off pointing it back at yourself. Or yourself, there we go. Because, well, with that kind of thinking, we're not changing anything, are we? This is one of those bigger breakthroughs that I had to make. 2014, 2015, 2016, I developed another high quality problem in my business, which was that at that time frame, and part of what we're going to be covering inside of this upcoming event, you see that? That was not a whisper. But part of what we're going to be covering is really part of the story of how I broke out of this challenge. That at the time, my business was kind of plateaued at the gross level income, the top level income, around $450,000. And no matter what I was doing, the net income, the part that I kept, kind of locked in at about 160, 175, which them's not really bad numbers, but when you're trying to innovate, when you're trying to grow things bigger, it becomes extremely frustrating when, as this thing sold, that thing didn't, so this number at the top stayed the same. Or even worse, in the final year of this, it was that the more I innovated here, that one went down. And by thinking differently, not about the software, not about the technology, but by leaning heavier into what is the deeper sales psychology, what is the mental journey that people are going through from curious to now, here's my money, and what are the ways that it's consistent from one platform to another and will continue to work, even on the social media platforms and different online channels that don't even exist yet. And they're going to one day replace the ones that we've convinced ourselves we can't live without. So by thinking of that, that's when things really took off. And it really broke through this mindset of, especially with online programs, not you can't afford this one, so you should buy that one. Instead, how do we create the narrative where now the right audience members place themselves into the right journey at the right time, which also negates this bigger challenge, which is that one didn't work, so I guess I need that one. Or if I do that one, it's not as good because I should have done that one. Let's cut that mess out. That's something we can easily satisfy in terms of the messaging, in terms of the narrative. So it's first of all, of this three-step process, let's start with the audience's narrative. What are they talking about? What are the things within their communication that are really their, yeah, but, not right now, can't afford it type messaging that really basically comes around to, I don't believe you. Then from there, step two, what is the specific value we can provide? What is the education? What is the teaching point? What is the story? What is something of value that gets that foot in the door, grabs their attention? And here's the one word to really lock into your mind. This is what's really necessary for any piece of marketing to be effective. You've got to create contrast. Most of what people are putting out there is not creating contrast, separating from here's where they are right now, here's their current belief systems, and instead now, after they've spent even 48 seconds with you in a short form video, or 26 minutes so far into this event, whatever amount of time they've spent, they are leaving that transformed because of what you've shared with them during that time. What is the content that you can provide that's going to hit one of those core 6 belief systems? Then from there, whisper method, how could I then, in the course of sharing that value, specifically now plant the seed so that now it just sticks in their mind and they now start to connect the dots for you? I understand what needs to happen. I know why it needs to happen. I'm kind of stuck on how. Let me look for it. Let me look up this person even further, and then they find it. Or I'm not telling you never do a call to action, because no, never do a call to action. Earn the right to make an offer, and then when you've earned the right to make the offer, don't apologize while you're making it. You see people do this. Hey, we've got this upcoming event. I'm not here necessarily to sell you this, but just if you're curious about it, you can check this out. No, this thing is free. It's going to be awesome. Head over to scalewithacourse.com. Grab your free spot. We'll see you there. Earn the right to hit that. Also, because we just had a team meeting today planning out this event, and it was awesome over the weekend, and it just got super awesome in the last couple of hours. Oh, we're excited. But there you go. Start from that audience narrative. What is the value that I can provide? But the key is it's got to hit one of those core beliefs that really needs to be knocked down. It's got to really create that contrast where now you have created a transformation, even if they don't yet buy. I just created a transformation in the hundreds of you here with me right now across multiple platforms. I locked in one specific word. The next time you look at any piece of marketing, the next time you go out to create something, you're going to think of the word contrast. What was the before? What was the after? When you go to create something and write something, or even go back, try this out. Go look at stuff you've published before that didn't quite grab an audience, didn't quite grab people's attention and bring them in, didn't have them actually raising their hands and saying, I want more, or spending money. Go back and look at that stuff. I bet you can find the places where there was an opportunity for contrast, but you didn't do it. And it sucked because it didn't get the results that you wanted, but now you can look at it and go, I see what to do differently there. And try not to think of the color purple when it's in the walls here. Let me know in the chat over here if that makes sense in terms of, again, what is the narrative that is preventing the sale? What are the blocks that need to be addressed? What is something I can provide of value? And then from there, what is the way I can just whisper in this reference so that now we've got that mental rehearsal in motion? Yes, sure, cool. The commercial comes on TV back in the day, and the person opens up the kitchen cabinets, and all the plastic Tupperware-style containers fall out. And then they introduce to you the product that goes into your kitchen cabinet. It's on a turntable type thing because that's fun. And then as you put the containers on it, now I've got to match the lids. Guess what? All the lids are the same size. What have they done there? They have created contrast. They have also branded, anchored, connected you from that problem state to now here's their solution. When I lived in Virginia, I'm here in Orlando, Florida right now. Been here for the last, at this point, 3.5 years. It used to be when I was in Virginia, I went to this gym right around the corner from my house, and the TVs were all CNN, Fox News, BBC News, Al Jazeera News, one other news station, and then infomercials. Like, let me watch the infomercials. And they rolled out the Copper Chef pans. And I'm watching and going, that looks cool. I don't need that. Probably doesn't work. Next morning, news. Copper Chef pans. I then would go home and cook breakfast for my kids. The eggs were sticking to the pan. I'm like, damn it, I probably should get those Copper Chef pans. They're in my kitchen. I don't sell those products yet, but they're pretty darn good there. So there you go, Whisper method. Couple of things here. First of all, again, we've got our Scale with a Course challenge because the fact is you can grab the audience's attention, you can reference them in, yet the key that I have found, I wasn't going to share this today, but we're good on time. The key that I found to success within your business is actually something psychologically covert, and I'm a little cautious to actually say this out loud, but it is compete with yourself. Think about it for a moment. And this is not meant to be the old school sort of double bind thing that some people would put into a category of sales persuasion of, do you want the blue car or the red car? I want the purple car, but they don't make it in that color, so I'm going to figure out how to get it painted. No, it's not that people recognize that stuff from a mile away. Instead, the contrast is, through this Whisper method, are they deciding to work with you at a high level concierge white glove type thing where they may hear the pricing is this, but they go, yeah, makes sense with all the support that I'm going to get? Or do they go, hey, you know what, for where I am right now, this is the better fit? I'll give you a quick example here. Yes, I mentioned our consulting. We also at times, not always, we also at times sell the digital only curriculum of our full consulting pathway. Here's the consulting journey price. Here's the digital only. And it's not that, hey, you can't afford this one, you can buy that one instead. No, it's instead the fact that we have audience members at different points of their journey. You know, here's the person who is already running a business very much at a strong level, and the idea of jumping into something massively comprehensive with one-to-one meetings and us giving you unlimited content review and working with you step by step, they might just be trying to solve a few specific elements of their business, and the time demand of that may not be what they're looking for. They might have seen something that I talked about and they go, hey, Jason can help me out with this one specific problem in my business. Let me dive in at this level. Or it might be that they're earlier in their journey starting up, and it's the fact that they're now thinking, I'm still kind of figuring out what I'm doing. Let me kind of get started on my own. So it's not the traditional thought of, hey, you can't afford this, buy that one instead. But notice that at the end of the day, we've got many people in our crowd deciding which one is the right fit for me. And it's not the hacky, do you want the red car or the blue car? Or let me do an even worse one of these double binds. Do you want to, next time you eat a piece of fruit, it's the wrong texture. I know, right? The mushy banana, anyone? Or, hey, you could sign up for our Scale with a Course challenge. There's contrast. That sucked. But you get the idea. You don't want it to be so obvious they go, you're using a thing right now. Instead, it's that subtlety that really sells it. That's what I mean by create the environment where now your offers are basically competing with each other, and they're in their minds going, do I do this one or I do that one? There's a principle I'll also share to kind of wrap this up for the day, which is the power of one. So no, I'm not going to tell you where to go to check out the consulting or even the digital thing, because instead, we'd rather just give you something awesome. Head over to www.scalewithacourse.com. Grab your spot for this upcoming event. If you can be there live and in real time, that's crazy awesome. If time is not really a thing that fits for that specific schedule, still go there anyway, because we're going to be making the replays available temporarily inside of a small pop-up community. If you can be there live for it, we're going to be giving you support throughout this event. And we're not going to be approaching this idea of course creation from the traditional standpoint of just going, sign up for this software. Now just start filming. No, there are key psychological principles that need to be dialed in so that, one, people will buy it in the first place. Two, people will naturally ascend themselves up into your more premium offers. But also, here's the real aha, so that people do this incredible thing where not only do they buy your stuff, but they actually use it. I know, right? Yeah. How many of you, don't answer in the chat, how many of you have bought stuff and then never logged into it? The books on the shelf behind me are the ones I've actually read. We're not going to talk about the ones in the closet over there. That's my role for out here. But you buy things, you download the thing, you never engage with it. The people who, especially those of you in the coaching space, the people who actually go through your material are the ones who actually get this. This is incredible. Actually get the results that you promised them. It's funny how that works. And then the people who get the results that you promised them are the ones who then go online and then leave you wonderful reviews. And they also then do this incredible thing and they say nice things about you to other people. And that's that lovely word of mouth thing. That's that lovely referral business type stuff where now you're not having to work so hard because now you have this tribe of people who just love what you've done because you told them they'd get a result and they did. That's part of what we're going to be diving into in this upcoming event. I'm Jason Linett. Change your words, change your business, change your life. Grab your spot now. It's free. It's going to be awesome. www.scalewithacourse.com. We'll see you soon.